Check this out, dude. What's going on, guys, and welcome to February's episode of Game of the Month, the show where we pick a game at random every month, and at the end of the month, we talk about it. My name's Seth, and joining me today, of course, is Chevy. Chevy, how you doing? And are you excited to finally talk about the finals, Season 5, what we played in February, and to reveal what we'll be playing in March?
Yeah, doing good. I this kind of snuck up on me, but this is a short month anyway, so
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that.
yeah. We did play it fairly recently though, so it's pretty fresh on my mind.
Yeah.
As far as next month's, looking forward to that as well.
Since we both know what it is.
Yeah, and yeah, yourself?
I'm good. I'm a little tired, but I'll get through it. This is a game that I think I can talk about quite a bit. So, and I do every single day. So, yeah, I'll have plenty to say here, and I'm excited to finally be able to review it, even though it's season 5, because I've been playing it since the beginning. So, yeah, so before we talk about the finals, let's talk about what our game of the month for March will be. Typically, if you're new here, we do a game of the month every month. We pick at random with a wheel. It spins. Back burner games. Lands on one. We play throughout the month. We review it. Every 3 months, I pick a game. We pick a game. Shelly picks a game. You guys pick a game. But we are overriding our system in March just because we felt like it'd be convenient. It's a game we want to play a lot anyway, and a lot of people in our community are fans of this game as well, so we feel it's just the right thing to do for the channel, and that is we're going to play Monster Hunter Wilds as our game of the month in March. Doing ourselves a favor. We're gonna be playing it anyway. Might as well just make it the game of the month, and that'll be cool at the end of the month to just be able to review our experience with the game that's fairly fresh. And a lot of people in this community are fans of the game, so it'll be a good conversation to have, and probably play with some of you guys from the Discord. So that's the game we're gonna be playing, Monster Hunter Wilds, and we can't wait to play it. I already assume it's gonna be great. I played the beta, but
The first one, yeah.
the full game, I'm sure, will be fantastic. So, but we'll see. We'll find out. Maybe I'll be disappointed with it, like Killing Floor 3. But we don't got to talk about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I'm not worried about that. So yeah, that's what we're playing. Thoughts?
It's already pre-installed, so looking forward to be able to play it. It also is a bit of a load off, obviously, because it is going to be a game that is going to take up a lot of time.
And you're gonna not have a whole lot of time when you're playing all month Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
And I was gonna say, our plus games seem a little time consuming as well, so it kind of works out.
Yeah, it's like if we had another back burner game that we're obligated to play with 2 games that are going to take time to play. So,
but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I kind of intentionally didn't play a lot of the beta stuff. I played the first beta. I did one hunt and I shut it off, mostly because I want to just kind of play the game itself. So, but I did want to check it out. It was hard for me to completely avoid it, but so I have no idea how any of the new weapons or how any of the weapons feel, other than a little bit of the hunting horn, which I played, which is likely what I will play. But I usually do dabble in all of them a little bit. So
yeah, I'll definitely dabble with all the weapons, but I will most likely land on Insect Glaive because it's my favorite weapon from the prior games. But yeah, I'll be excited to finally experience the full game, try all the weapons, because I also was very minimal in the beta. I basically just want to see if it ran on my computer well or not, and it was fine. So outside of that, I already knew I was going to pick it up, so didn't really need to be convinced, and I didn't want to put a bunch of time into a beta for a game that I'm going to be putting a lot of time into, so it just didn't make sense to me. So yeah, so we'll be playing that in March. So play it as well, and we will talk about it. All right, so with that out of the way, let's talk about the finals.
Okay.
If you didn't get a chance to play the finals is a free-to-play first-person shooter. It's a competitive shooter, and it's set in a world where you are contestants in the biggest VR game show contest out there, that it's being sponsored by all these mega corporations, that in recent seasons of the game are actually sponsors that you can pick to be sponsored by and gain rewards from those specific sponsors. Like I said, it's a first-person shooter. It's competitive. It has multiple game modes. The bread and butter of the finals, I would argue, is quick cash and iterations of quick cash that are in ranked and world tour, which are ranked and modes you have to kind of grind through to get rewards at the end. Basically, you grab a vault, you have to run to what is called a cash out. You plug it into that thing, and you have to wait for it to cash out to gain points. You keep doing that until you win. Teams can steal it from you, so you're defending it constantly. The game features, in my opinion, the best destruction in, at least any online shooter, but really, I can't think of a game that has better destruction than it. Every map is super destructible and dynamic. 3 classes. You have heavy, medium, light. Light is basically your high mobility, stealth, DPS class that's squishy. Your medium is your support with a healing beam and defib. They're pretty well balanced in most regards, and most of their weapons are pretty decent. And then heavy is the tank slash support, or not support, defense character that has a dome shield, barricades, can run through walls, pull up a mesh shield in front of them, like a big shield that blocks people, but people can shoot through it. Stuff we've seen in a lot of games. And it features a bunch of gadgets, specializations, weapons, from flamethrowers to RPGs to AK-47s to SMGs, shotguns, fire shotguns, Cerberus shotgun, which is added in Season 5. And what else to really add to that? Specializations, people can, there's gadgets. People can like throw gravity grenades, regular grenades, fire grenades, gas grenades, jump pads, zip lines, all sorts of crazy shit that makes every single match in the finals super dynamic. You never know what's going to happen in every single match. Also season pass, and a bunch of stuff to unlock if you played a lot. We both played it this month. How about we jump into your impressions of the finals in February?
Okay. So I do have a little bit of experience with this game. Not obviously to the quite same extent you do, but I have played it before, mostly in Season 1 and 2, I believe. And then I haven't played it since Season 2.
Yes, you're returning now in Season 5. You skipped 3, 4, because...
Yeah.
You were doing stuff.
Well, competitive games are really not my thing. So
yeah, I really wish you would have played a little bit in Season 3 though, just because it's all Japanese themed. But whatever.
I'm sure it'll come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I as far as like the game itself goes, I do think it is a good looking game, and it has a good feel, like control wise. I'm not like I kind of mentioned before, I don't play a lot of competitive games, so I'm not like an expert on shooters or anything like that, but like the shooting feels pretty good to me.
And you seem to do pretty decent with it, so
I do think I still have a similar issue I had before with the medium's guns feeling like the clips are kind of small, but I'm sure that's a balance thing. It's just obviously I'm not coming from it from that perspective, so it's kind of hard for me to understand it at that level. But as far as just like kind of shooting it, I always feel like I'm 1 or 2 bullets away from getting a kill, and then I'm reloading with them all the time. So
and you did try multiple weapons, but you were regularly using the FCAR, and my biggest complaint about the FCAR is it needs like 3 extra bullets in the clip, in my opinion. That's why I use the AKM, because it has a much bigger clip. So it's a solid weapon, but you have a little bit of playroom with that magazine, not clip. Whereas like the FCAR, you need to be hitting with that fucking thing and getting those headshots. But if you do that, you'll drop them quick. But that thing's pretty unforgiving.
Yeah. I didn't touch the light this time around. I didn't really like it before. I can't imagine my opinion would have changed too much. I don't generally enjoy that style of gameplay, so I probably should have. So I had a more up to date opinion. But I remember not enjoying the lack of survivability because I'm not the like quickest when it comes to like movement and stuff like that, which you kind of have to with that class, and it's fine. Like obviously, there's a type of person who likes to play that kind of class. It doesn't have to be for me. So
It's funny because in almost every first-person shooter ever, I like high mobility characters. I like jumping around. I like running fast, sliding around. Just what the kids call nowadays like movement FPSs. But I main heavy in this game just because it's a destructible game with so much environmental things that the heavy's utility in terms of like manipulating his environment is like so useful that like it's hard for me to play light. I also have a love-hate relationship with light as a class, but when I do play light, I do decent. It feels my speed. That's the kind of character I normally play. But in a game that's so team-oriented and so environmentally manipulative, you do so much that changes the environment. It feels the least, and to any light mains, I know this is going to be blasphemy, but it just feels the least impactful. But what it does do, if someone's good with a light, it does very well. If you're able to get in there quick and fucking hit all your shots, you can melt people so quick and just be the fuck out of there. But you got to be in that mindset to play that class. You can't play that class like casually.
yeah, I would say most of the time when we were playing, the times I would actually notice a light was usually because they were pretty good about not necessarily shooting at me, but dodging.
Yep.
And so it made it kind of a pain in the butt. And so I'd get in a fight with them. They'd realize their window was gone.
Yep.
And they'd be gone. And I was just like, it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
So
My recommendation for that, for anybody who is dealing with a light that's dashing, if you're playing a heavy, because that's what I play the most, Charge and Slam is not only great for running through people even after the nerf, or running through walls to evade getting shot. You can keep up with a light pretty well with it as long as you do it as they're doing their first dash, because they're going to get 3 dashes in. And most time, by the time they're stopping, they think they left you. A lot of times it's so funny to watch them get comfortable because they'll just stop and they're not even like full running. They're just like, and just like walk into a corner to get their health back, and I just come around the corner and murder them. So I'm like, I'm right behind you, dude. Like I watched exactly where you went. But that comes with like the muscle memory of playing it.
Right.
But yeah, it's annoying especially when I listen to people who play like lights, or not lights, mediums. Like lights are just fucking in and out, gone. Like they don't have a whole lot of ways to like keep up with them. At least with heavy, you have the winch claw. For anybody obviously who doesn't play winch claw, you throw and hook onto a dude and pull them into your face. If you're really good with that, you can yank them in. But yeah, medium has a harder time keeping up with lights running away. So
yeah, I didn't have 2 heroes with mediums outside of 2 instances when we played of them using the swords. That was also a matter of ignorance as well, because I was just unloading into them and they were just closing ground on me, and then they'd kill me, and I was just like, I don't understand what's happening. I emptied like a whole clip at them, and then I asked, I was like, can you block bullets or something with that?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah. And I was like, ah.
And it deflects damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was funny when we were playing, because I never thought about that. And then you're like, can you block bolts with the swords? I was like, yes. That's kind of their thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and so like it's funny that I only ran into that twice, and then after I asked about it, it didn't happen the rest of the night, so it didn't matter. So in fact, most of the mediums did what they probably should be doing and stuck with other people with a heal beam. But
God bless them. If you're a medium and you're fucking just staying on people, healing them and defibbing, you're doing God's work.
yeah, and then heavy is the one I probably played the most, mostly because it has the type of guns I usually like in shooters, which is LMG style guns. I did try the new winch claw, I think is what you said it was called. Not for me, mostly because I'm not that accurate, and you have to be pretty accurate with that thing.
It also has a weird, because somebody recently over on the Reddit posted a video of Junkrat, or whatever the fuck that dude's name is
Yes.
from Overwatch. He has a thing that he can yank people to, and it's like pinpoint accurate. Wherever you look, it shoots and hits. But in the finals, your movement, there is a slight delay of where you're going to shoot. And it's probably a balance thing. It seems intentional. But if you're like swinging real quick and you go to shoot, it might still shoot where you were just looking when you shot. So you have to be like a little more precise with it.
That could also be a server latency thing.
It could be, but somebody made the case for why it probably is on purpose. So it seemed legit. I forgot what the argument was, but it could be a server latency thing. That is, in my opinion, probably the biggest weakness of the finals is the servers could be a little better. But anyway,
Yeah, and every time I used it, I wasn't really like moving all that much, so
Yeah.
I was definitely just not aiming very well. Excuse me. Yeah, let's see. I usually stick with the shield with the shield grenade as well. However, and I don't know how many changes it's gone through since the second season, but I seem to remember that dome shield lasting a lot longer.
it's gone through a lot of iterations. It actually was in a really bad place there for a while, where because I used to use Dome Shield from season 1 and 2. I used Dome Shield all the fucking time. Around season 3, I stopped using Dome Shield. I opted into barricades, which I still think are great, even though they feel a little weaker than they used to be. But they're fine. They're in a good place. And then goo grenades, which is now my thing. I'm barricades and goo grenades, but I used to use Dome Shield time, and I think it was like only maybe this season or the end of season 4. I saw people start using Dome Shields again, so they're a little better, but they are definitely weaker than they used to be.
Yeah, they feel like they last like 2 seconds. So
Yeah, they used to last like 1 second. People used to jokingly say like they'll take like one shot and then
Yeah.
disappear. And they take a couple now. There's actually been multiple times, shout out to Cody, where I'm like stealing and he'll like drop. Even Josh has done this. Dropped a dome shield right around me, and just with those last seconds, milliseconds of me stealing it, and people are just shooting directly at me. I hear the dome shield going doo, 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 and then it disappears, but I still got it. So it does bite time, but yeah, your observation's correct. It used to be way stronger.
Yeah,
it
well-
used to basically be like, this is my arena, you have to enter. Now it's like it buys you a
yeah,
couple
unless
seconds.
you put fire on it or something, and then it would
Yeah.
melt through it.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So I didn't really think it felt that good. So I actually ended up switching to the charge, which I'm also not the biggest fan of. I honestly
Fucking love it.
I'm not a big fan of most of the heavies
Specializations.
specializations. I think they're fine, but like none of them really like call to me anymore, especially with the shield is
Talking about the mesh shield.
yeah, the mesh shield was probably the one I used to use a lot the most, but it also
I remember.
is I don't know. I think especially because a lot of times a lot of people play lights and they'll just dash past it anyway. So, and I can't lift my weapon up as fast as they can, just get behind me, basically. So, so I just kind of stopped using that as well. So the dash I started using, and mostly to get away from people, so I can get through walls and stuff. So, I have chased a couple people, but usually just ends up with me in between like 3 of them at that point, because I break through the wall and there's a whole group. I'm like, oh, cool, I'm dead. So,
Yeah.
yeah. What else?
Seem to be doing good with the M60.
Yeah, I feel like I did it as good as I did the second season with that gun. I don't think it feels pretty much the same. So.
You were multiple times the second highest eliminations, and eliminations aren't everything, but we're playing a lot of TDM, the new temporary TDM mode, but which I hope they keep. And yeah, you were fucking wrecking.
Well, yeah, in TDM I was doing fine. In cash out I was struggling. So
Yeah, quick cash is gonna be
yeah.
tough, because everyone who's playing has probably been playing for a while. There's some new players, but not a lot. And so we're all like seasoned. We got our strategies down. You have not played since season 2. You don't even know how good Dome Shield is, how all these things are working. So yeah, you're at a disadvantage when it comes to more strategic stuff. But when it came to pure fucking murdering, we were just winning. Like a lot, because I had another person on the team who was just guaranteed to get a bunch of kills. So that was a lot of fun.
yeah, well, I guess that kind of brings me to their game modes. Obviously, like that mode wasn't there last time I played. Hopping in, I know you had brought up that some people were kind of conflicted on the idea of them even adding a mode like that.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. It's been a whole thing.
and yeah, I from my perspective on that, just like real quick, is in season 2, probably my biggest complaint I had when I played back then was in objective modes, people would just like they'd grab the cash, they'd put it somewhere, not to the objective, and then they'd puppy guard it to force deathmatch.
TDM. Yep.
I was just like, okay, well they need a mode for these people.
And in Power Shift, people like to do that. And in Bank It, people like to do that.
Yeah.
And in everything outside of, I don't know what's happening in Terminal Attacks. I don't play it, but I'm sure they're not doing Team Deathmatch there. But yeah, people are playing Team Deathmatch in every mode. And a lot of the people who would advocate for that and defend that would say it didn't matter because they're not ranked modes. So you should just play them like TDM. But then we're like, hey, maybe they should add a TDM. They're like, no, that would ruin the game. And it's like, well, you're ruining the fucking game. So why don't we just get a TDM? Because you want to play it anyway. You won't admit it, but you want to play it because that's what you're doing.
Well, and like from the perspective of a non-sweat, I would say, even in like Battlefield, for example, right? I enjoy Battlefield because it is an objective game. Now, I'm not like to the point where I'm like, I gotta win, type of thing. And or I'm sitting there like, practicing my shots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I hop in, I do some objective stuff, and I have fun. And it's the same idea with like the finals. Like if I'm doing these modes, I like the idea of doing the objectives and stuff like that. Otherwise, I would just go play an arena shooter if I wanted to just like run around and killing.
Well, yeah, that's why I think TDM is a good idea. Well, TDM is good. Let me explain real quick for anybody who's not playing the finals who doesn't know what I'm talking about. So TDM right now is temporary. They're trying it out. I think they're going to keep it because it's been requested for so long. They got voice dialogue in the game that talks about TDM. They got all sorts of. It seems like they invested time in it. So I think it's going to show up in season 6 as a permanent mode. But right now it's temporary, and people are like conflicted because people think it's going to take away from the game. And I think it's good because there are people who obviously just want to shoot shit. There's people who obviously want to play TDM. Even the people who say they don't want TDM, they're the ones saying it's okay to play TDM in all these modes. But also for new players, it gives them a place to practice the game with no pressure. No one cares if you win. I mean, I want to win every mode I play, but I will not get upset if I lose TDM. I don't fucking care. It's just shooting shit. So it's a great place for a new player. And people argue like, well, they're not going to learn strategies. Well, they'll learn some strategies, but more importantly, they're going to learn small parts of the map. They're going to learn their kit. They're going to learn
item familiarity is going to be
huge. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
You gotta know how the fuck your character works. And if you're playing quick cash with people in chat bitching you out because you're playing bad and it's your first fucking match ever, that experience I learned in League of Legends a long time ago. When you play with people who just talk shit to you and trying to learn the game, you're like, okay, let's go fucking play something else. This is a social game. I don't even want to play with theyese people. And so yeah, the finals needs a like beginner friendly mode, and TDM is perfect for that. And yes, people will learn the game through it. They're not going to learn advanced strategies, but when they dip their toes in the different game modes, when they get curious and they feel confident in the class that they like, the weapons they like, the gadgets they like because they've gotten to learn that shit, then they can start learning that shit. So
oh yeah, for sure. And like this is gonna be a weird example, but like I play Final Fantasy 14, and that game has a variety of different like combat stuff, all the way from casual to hardcore. And I always kind of like praise the fact that there is a type of like group combat gameplay in that game for like any kind of difficulty and any kind of player, and it also allows people to learn and get better and like maybe want to dip their toes in the harder content and stuff like that. I still think there's room for improvement in that, but this is not about that game. But just as an example, I do think it is good to try and to cater as much as you can, because you want a consistent player base, but you also want a strong incentive for people to want to try. So.
You got to grow though too. So that's the thing. It's like I think TDM will help the game grow because it's something that your friend's kind of interested in the game. You don't want to really explain Quick Cash just yet. So like you're like just play some TDM, see if you like it, play it. They're doing well or they're enjoying themselves. Then you introduce them to their stuff. Like I get all the arguments against it, but I think they're nonsensical because like people be like, oh, TDM is a COD mode. And it's like, well, no, TDM is like the most standard fucking first-person shooter mode that's existed since first-person shooters were invented. It came before COD.
Sorry you're not old enough to realize games existed before COD. But.
Yeah, COD didn't invent it. It's not a COD mode. And then if your argument is it is a COD mode, well, so is Bankit. Bankit's in COD. It was in COD before the finals existed. It's in other games too. Bankit's not an original mode. That's a COD mode. Terminal Attack, that's a COD mode. That's Search and Destroy. I fucking love Search and Destroy in other games. I don't like it in the finals because I don't want to play the finals for that. But that's Search and Destroy. That's in COD. It's COD mode. TDM, that's a COD mode. And then Power Shift is basically an escort mode similar to Overwatch. Just it has its own stand on the platform arena and fight each other thing. But you're escorting it into
point A to
point A to point B. It's Overwatch. So it's like Quick Cash is the finals mode, and it's fucking amazing. I love it. But the argument that's COD mode is just it tells me you haven't really paid attention to the landscape of shooters, which is weird to me. And then people saying like it's gonna dilute the player base, and it's like, well, so is Bankit and fucking Terminal Attack. And if I could choose, I would pick TDM, replace both of those. I'm not saying it should, but I would prioritize TDM over those because it's going to be more inviting to more people. TDM is one of the most popular game modes in every first-person shooter that has it. People always play TDM. It's smart to have it. There's some other arguments. It doesn't matter. We don't need to talk about too much more, but TDM, I think is a really good thing. I really am enjoying it. I'm not even a big TDM guy. I think it's kind of boring, but because of the dynamic nature of the finals and how crazy shit gets, it's a really good place to kind of practice up just killing people. Like it's a great place to warm up, which a lot of people are looking for. That's why they play casual modes before ranked, because they want to warm up. Well, TDM's perfect for that. It's also a great place to finish contracts. You have dailies, and then you get these contracts throughout like weeks or whatever that allow you to get huge chunks of XP. And a lot of people will just go play Power Shift, not play the mode, just do the headshots they need, do the fire damage they need, whatever. Now TDM allows for that, and it's so much better to do it there. So anyway, I got off on a tangent.
Yeah, it's fine. The other thing I'll say about being able to try TDM, because it didn't obviously exist before this, is that I think they handled it well. The map sizes they've chosen, I think, are a good size. You have enough breathing room to spawn in, but you also don't have to take forever to find someone. So I think they did a good job there. I have played plenty of other shooters, as much as I'm not a big fan on them. I have dipped my toes in, throughout the years, and spawning is one place where I will complain a lot of times with a lot of them, because to bring up COD, one of my things I hate about COD is every time you spawn, you're basically on top of someone already.
Yeah, COD's notorious for bad spawns. Like, I don't know how they still haven't fixed that. Because, and I get it, like, a lot is happening quickly. People are running, shooting, dying constantly, like respawning instantly, and like a lot of times they probably doesn't know where the fuck to put you. Yeah, because there's so much happening so quickly.
Sure, I don't have an answer for it at all.
But it'll just like throw you in, and it is one of those games where you'll spawn and then you go, and someone just shoots you instantly, and you drop, and you're like, that doesn't even feel good. I don't even feel like I had a fucking chance.
Yeah, and it's difficult too, because the alternative that people will often use is set spawn points. The problem with that is it's easy to spawn camp then. So, I don't have an easy answer, obviously, but my whole point of that is I didn't run into any issues when we were playing the finals. Like, I'd spawn in, I felt like I had time to like get my bearings, find out where the action was, and join in. So
it does seem like, at least in TDM, there's like a zone that your team is going to spawn in, and whenever your team's over here running around and tries to put the other team's zone over here, and they start all spawning from that area, and it always tries to keep you opposite on
Yeah.
the map. And I think it works pretty decent. It could be improved a little bit, but like I almost never feel like I'm spawning or just getting murdered.
Yeah, I don't think it happened to me once,
Yeah.
which was nice.
It's probably happened like once to me. That's it. I don't know. I can't really think of a
Yeah,
moment.
which isn't enough to complain
Exactly.
about. I also like that mode allows for you to use some of the tools maybe you wouldn't use in the more strategy-based modes, just because they don't make sense in those modes so much unless you're the type who's just going in there trying to get kills or whatever.
Yeah.
Going in and just having a full loadout of like different types of like grenades and bombs and stuff like that. It's not something I would typically do in was it Quick Cash or whatever it's called, or Cash Out? I don't know the main names. I'm sorry.
You cash out, but it's quick cash.
Yeah, the normal mode, the original mode, I should say. And that I would usually try to bring some utility with some, more so deterrence. I usually go with like fires and gases and stuff like that, instead of just boom, just because it's nice to create barriers in that mode.
Yeah.
Versus in this, I would bring just straight up explosives because you're trying to, get those kills real quick, and it's not like there's a lot of places for them to go hide, and so like making zones from run in is less of a thing, at least for me. The only other thing I really have to talk about, I suppose, is the cosmetic progression in the game has changed drastically since I played. Also, we didn't play Power Shift this time, and I have played in the past. So,
Yeah. It's basically the same.
yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the mode, but at the time, it was the only mode that allowed for more than 3 players, which was nice because there are some times where there are more than 3 of us playing, at least was. And that's one thing I will say that TDM also offers is that you could bring more than 2 other people with you. So,
Yeah, the game needs more modes like that. And obviously that's going to worry people about having too many modes and diluting the player base. But I really feel like Terminal Attack was like a fun experience, but I feel like the majority of people are not playing that mode. And for anybody who is playing that mode, obviously it's still there. I have no choice in if it goes or not. But I honestly think replacing it with another mode that'd be 5v5 would be better. Because it is the one mode that I feel like doesn't fully utilize the finals to its full potential. But I do think there needs to be more 5v5 modes. Even if they added like a variant of Quick Cash as 5v5, not like 3 teams of 3 or whatever, but just 2 teams of 5 or whatever. I don't know. That'd be kind of a clusterfuck, but something.
Kind of be king of the hill at that point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
They could do some things to change it up. I can't think of anything on the spot, but that's their bread and butter is Quick Cash. It's a fucking great mode. So some kind of weird variant that's 5v5 without would be kind of cool, but some other mode too that's like creative, because it does kind of suck when you have more than 2 other friends that want to play, and they have to choose Power Shift, which is fun if people are playing it correctly. Terminal Attack, which I don't really like to play a whole lot. And then now TDM, as long as it sticks around, which I think it will. But and TDM is a lot of fun, but it would be cool to get another like objective mode.
Right. What was that? Oh, the cosmetics. So back when I played in season 2, the only cosmetics you really had was there's the battle pass, obviously, which I still think there's not enough free options in that.
I haven't experienced in 4 seasons now what the battle pass is like for somebody who doesn't pay, because I just buy as soon as I start the game when the new season comes out. So I can't even speak on that.
Yeah, and I it's not that you don't get. I mean, I got a couple things. They're pretty good about like making sure you get like a thing here and there for every category, but there's definitely a lot more premium items than there is free items, and I get it. They have to make money, but I think they do make up for it a bit with all the other types of or ways to get cosmetics now, with like the corporations or sponsors. That's what I want.
Yep. You earn stuff through your sponsors. You also earn things through the weekly challenges that come out. If you complete a certain amount, there's always an item that you'll get. So I do think you'd significantly get like less stuff in a game with such cool cosmetics if you were playing just free, but you will get stuff. Your time's not wasted. But
Yeah, and they have also added, at least I believe they've added more stuff to just the normal leveling as well.
Up until fucking, what is it, 70, they stopped giving stuff out, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, but I think they added some other stuff because I logged in and I had new stuff all of a sudden.
Yeah, they probably did. They've added a bunch of stuff to it, but right now you can level up to level 100, your account level, but from like 70 to 100, maybe it's 60. Let me know in the comments. I'll play in a little bit and I'll fucking know. But right now I can't remember exactly, but I'm hoping and praying that those are just placeholders for when they do add stuff later, because it is nice to be like, I'm level 75, I'm level 80 or wherever, but they used to give you something for every single level, and that was fucking awesome. And to go back on that, even though it might be hard for them to keep up with that, does feel kind of like a setback. So I'm hoping, maybe later they'll just add 10 items, and if you've already leveled past that, you'll just get them retroactively.
Well, and I feel like they probably took some of those resources and put it into like the sponsors,
100%,
and the challenge rewards and stuff like that. So, but there's definitely some cosmetic options. Most of the premium stuff is pay for.
Yeah, and if you like spending money, there's a lot of really cool cosmetics, but they're not shy about just wanting you to pay for them.
Yeah, and obviously it's a free-to-play game. I mean, Fortnite is another example of this, where like you can tell who's spent and who hasn't because they are either the default character or they're not. And if they're not, they spent money. Like, there might be some exceptions.
I've had people comment to me before about that I've spent money or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I love this game. Like, I want to fucking give them money for sure.
It's also it's a free to play game, right?
Yeah, they got to make money.
And if you're going to complain or comment, I should say, I don't know if they complained, but on the fact that someone spent money on cosmetics, it's a little counterproductive because you want people who are willing to spend so the game continues.
Yeah, people don't get that. People who take pride in not spending money, that's fine. I don't know what your financial situation is, but to push the idea that not spending money on a free-to-play game is good, it's like you're just advocating for the game to fail because they didn't have you spend 60, 70 bucks on the game, so they have to make money somehow. They're not working on it as a charity. We say that all the time. It's not a thing they're doing out of the goodness of their hearts. They got to make money. Just like the people in ranked who are like, casual modes don't matter. Casual players' opinions don't matter. It's like, they're the bulk of the game.
The majority.
You're not. You're the minority. You don't speak for the game. You speak for ranked. If you're especially high rank, people in low rank always talk about rank like they're fucking high rank too. But if you're like high rank, cool. If you got opinions on rank, I'll listen to you. You got opinions on the rest of the game, but you don't give a fuck about the casual modes, I don't give a fuck about your opinion. Because there are too many people who are playing the game casually. That's the bulk of the fucking people playing almost every single game. And so their opinions, because they're the majority of people playing the game, matter as well. I would say nicely. I would say their opinions matter a lot.
Also, the stereotype of like the guy who works a 40-hour job, comes home to his family, he's got like 2 hours to sit down and play a game maybe, is usually the type of guy who's going to spend some money on the game, especially if it's his like come home and relax game. So, anyways, that's a whole topic, I suppose. But
it is. I just... like I said, to reiterate, I'm not trying to say people need to spend money, especially if they don't have the money.
For sure.
And there is value in you playing the game because you're part of the community. You're keeping the game alive in that sense. Yeah. But to be like pushing the idea that spending money is bad is really stupid. I spend too much money in this game, but I think the finals has some of, if not the best cosmetics in a game I've played. So I like what I'm buying. I like supporting the dev. I think Embark's fantastic for the most part, and I love their game. So it's all win-win for me. but there is value in just you playing the game. If you're playing for like any free to play game, if you're playing the game, you're keeping the community healthy and the player base healthy. And then for the people who are spending the money, they're sticking around because there's
the lights on.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I hate that rhetoric where people are like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't spend any money on this game. Like,
Yeah, it's something I've dealt with.
I wouldn't even spend $10. It's like,
Well, I'm sure that's something a lot of people have dealt with, I should say, when it comes to like free to play MMOs, shooters, and then like for myself, I play a lot of gacha games, and those games die without money. Like so,
yep,
if you like them, and you are comfortable spending, then you shouldn't feel bad about that.
yeah. And Embark puts the fucking work into their cosmetics. There's like a couple articles of clothing that they keep basically reskinning in different colors and adding a couple things here or there. I don't mind that too much, but I get when people complain about that. But there's a lot of like really cool original things they make as well, like things that have like moving parts that are like really imaginative, or like full conversions, like the cowboy revolver that came out not that long ago. The way he holds it and uses it is completely different than if you just are using the revolver. That shit's fucking awesome. I love that. Or I have a flamethrower skin that's a squirt gun, and the reload's different than the normal flamethrower. He actually like refills the tank of water, and it's awesome. Which is kind of be expected. I didn't mention this earlier, but Embark is ex-DICE devs, people who worked on almost all the Battlefields. And so a lot of the really cool little Easter eggs they had in Battlefield, you can kind of see that the brains behind that are over here now, because there's all these really cool little things that they do.
Yeah, and due to the nature of the theme, excuse me, the theme of it being like a virtual game show, it kind of lends itself to be able to do kind of whatever it wants cosmetically as well. So
Yeah.
Was a smart thematic decision in that regard, because I don't know how many times I've seen a TikTok or a short of someone playing Call of Duty, and I look at their gun, I'm like, what the fuck game is that? Like,
Well, they got it's controversial right now, but they have the Ninja Turtles coming to COD. And the sentiment I see constantly is people going like, COD wants to be Fortnite so bad now. And I'm like, yeah, honestly, because like I haven't touched COD in like 3 CODs now. Because every time I see it, I'm like, it's not even what it used to be. Like what I used to love about Call of Duty, some of it's still kind of there, but like they don't know what identity they're going for. They don't, like, every game made by different devs are different than the other CODs. They don't have like a shared mentality. And then they're dipping their toes in like crazy ridiculous skins. They're like $60 a fucking pop, which I know other games do, but like that's a lot for skins that basically appeal to children. And so it's not the game I want to play anymore.
Yeah. I don't think I have much else to add. My experience, through the month was pretty good. I again, it's not my forte, I guess, but when I'm in the mood for it, it would definitely probably be a top contender for what I'd play to scratch that itch. So
yeah, it's fair. Okay, so if you follow the channel, you already know I play the finals a lot. I play it basically every day. I've been playing since season 1, and been playing a lot. My review is basically the game, but also season 5, which we're in right now, which added a bunch of new stuff. It's Latin America themed. I was gonna say Mexican themed, but it seems like there's a lot of themes going on there. Yeah. We got a new map, Bernal, which I think is actually a really good map. For some reason, I don't get to play it very often, but I think it's a solid map. I like the visual style of it. I really like the design of it. The new weapons are all pretty decent. The Cerberus, I think, is cool in concept, but I do okay with it, but I do way better with other weapons. If you don't know, Cerberus is a 3-barreled shotgun that does fire damage. Cool in concept, and some people can really make it work. I've ran into people who just melt me with it, but you basically got to get like really fucking close to people to do anything with it. So that's kind of my play style, but also I don't know, it's not really my thing. So what do I like about the finals? The finals, I think, is a visually gorgeous game with its graphics. I think are really high end, super sharp, detailed, but also the visual design of the game. I think is really cool because it's a very realistic looking game. They're definitely going for a realistic look, but it's in a VR world, so they do a lot of really interesting things thematically. Also, kind of what you're touching on with cosmetics, they have the freedom to do anything they want with cosmetics because in the world it makes sense. It's a virtual, it's a contest people are watching, being sponsored by corporations, and so people just dress however the fuck they want, and it's basically their virtual avatar. And so it allows for a lot of freedom, and there's a lot of fun cosmetics and weapons and crazy stuff going on because of that. So I really like that. Sound design is good, both in gameplay. Gun sound effects are good. Directional audio is good. I think it could be improved. I know some people really love it. I think it's good. I think it could be better. But I'm coming from the perspective of like Hunt Showdown has like, it doesn't need to be Hunt Showdown, but has like industry leading fucking audio design that's just like fucking insane. It's so good. And so every time I play other games, I'm like, it's not Hunt Showdown, but that can't be the standard. But it leaves room for improvement. And I think the finals could be improved. But the sound effects are really good with everything. I love Scotty and June. They are announcers that basically talk throughout every game. I believe you can turn them off, but I don't.
You can turn off voice chat and text chat, which I promptly did because I don't want to listen to sweaties give me their opinions. So,
and to be fair, there's definitely nice people, especially over on Reddit in the community. But in game, you'll run into cool people. You'll also run into assholes. I've ran into assholes many times. And I try not to be an asshole, but I can definitely turn that switch on pretty easily. As soon as I think someone's giving me any kind of attitude, I can start butting heads. So, yeah, a lot of times I don't interact with chat. But yeah, Sky and June, they will announce everything that's happening during the games, and I think it's fucking awesome. I would love, and they are working on it, more voice work, more detailed stuff. With what's happening, because like if you're destroying a lot of shit, they'll comment on it. If you're killing a lot of people, they'll comment on it. They'll comment on somebody getting close to winning, all that kind of stuff. So it feels like you're in a game show, although you play enough like I have, and it all becomes almost white noise. Like I don't even pay attention to it as much anymore, but when I do, I always really appreciate it. And they do add new lines every once in a while. I'm like, that's cool, it's cool. Also, they added a feature that I fucking love, that if you are excelling at anything, whether it's kills or doing the objective, they have in the sky like a hologram of the person doing well, and on billboards in the game, you'll see yourself. And I think that's awesome because it's fun, obviously, if you're doing well, to be displayed in front of everybody that you're doing well.
I never saw it once.
But I did see...
I saw you post the pictures of it, but like playing, I never noticed it.
Yeah. So. I saw you, and I was like, oh shit, I took a picture. Because it's fun for me, so it's definitely a cool feature that they added. Yeah, where do I go from there? Music is awesome. I don't remember the person's name who does the music, but it has its own personality, its own aesthetic to it. Every season has... a different theme, but it still has this like the final sound to it.
I'll say the main theme is definitely it. Like,
yeah,
it's very recognizable. So.
Yeah, it's great. And in recently they made it so you can go back and activate different seasons soundtracks, because people were saying that they want to listen to the music from other seasons. And for the longest time I kept on season 5's music just because it's the new season. I want to keep within theme of what's going on, but eventually I just like turn on everything because all the music's great. So you don't want to kind of forget about all the great music from before. So I love that they did that. Yeah, season pass I think is good. I pay for it, so I always feel like there's value there. I love Embark's cosmetics. I think they're awesome. It's always exciting to unlock new shit, new animations, new emotes. There's watches in the game. There's different reloads you can buy for your guns, which are always awesome. So much cool stuff. Different cosmetics, like I said, like different eyes, different hair, different chest pieces. They are going to start separating certain things because you can only have like one thing on your face and one thing on your head, and some things don't work together. And I think they're going to start making it so you can have sunglasses and other things on your face separately. So that's going to be cool. But yeah, anyway, I like the Battle Pass. I love the sponsors. I am a Dissen contestant. So, and before that, I was in Gmo. I brought that up, and someone's like, the in Gmo to Dissen pipeline is a real thing, because like a bunch of people who are in Gmo went to Dissen. Although I almost picked Via. I think they're both really cool, but Dissen's just more my speed in the colors. I've always liked Dissen's designs and colors, so the things I'm unlocking through Dissen, I'm enjoying. But Via is definitely really cool. Isolt, I don't care about Isolt. Sorry, Isolt contestants. It's like Haltau. I'm not a big fan of Haltau either. But yeah, that's all cool. I love the challenges too. It gives you stuff to work towards for huge rewards and XP, and then eventually cosmetic rewards, which I think is great. Yeah, and then cosmetics. Like I said, are my favorite cosmetics in a game, probably. There are games out there with great cosmetics, but I think the finals is just like so consistently good at creating stuff I want to wear on my character, whether I'm earning it through the game or buying with real money. Their designs are just awesome. I would like to see some fresh new designs, because there's sometimes, like I said, some repeat designs that are just different slightly. But yeah, I mean, they released the Bigfoot thing, and I was like, oh my god, I fucking have to have that. So yeah, they're doing a great job in the cosmetic department. And I can't keep up. They just released new shit like a day or two ago, and I'm like, fuck, I want that stuff too. So that they've really found a way to just like plug into my wallet and just go. And I'm just like, okay, fine. Yeah. So game modes are all fun. My favorite is obviously Quick Cash and any variant of it, whether it's ranked or World Tour. But I do think TDM is more fun than I thought it was going to be. And I think a lot of people agree with that. A lot of people are saying, like, even people who were against it originally were like, you know what? I kind of think it's fun. And I'm just thinking, like, no shit. Of course it would have been fun. But it is better than I thought, too. And I wanted it. So
well, I think what helps, too, is, like, if you already enjoy the classes, right, you get to play them in a setting where you're actively using them more often, instead of, like, you know, running across the map to hit hot spots.
You're just going boom, boom, boom.
In a hot spot all the time. Yep. But then also, like, the game has its destructibility system too. And so, like, you know, one of the maps we did when we were doing TDM was basically centered around a house. But by the end of the match, that house kind of wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, and I just played before I started filming to knock on my dailies. And that same map, the rest of the building, the first floor all collapsed, the walls, but the roof attic area was on the floor level, and so the side was kind of open. But like I was like running through the roof area, but I was like on the ground level. I was like, this is fucking weird. I've never seen this before, and I've played the game for hundreds and hundreds of hours. So it's like I still run into situations where I'm like, I've never seen this before. I was playing Power Shift a couple weeks ago, and everything's destructible. But I think it's Monaco with the cathedral. If you guys know, you know. The whole cathedral's destructible, but the platform had like left the building and broke out the wall, and something happened where an explosion happened, and all of the pieces of the cathedral broke together and collapsed towards the center, and so the whole building at once turned into like this giant ruins that wasn't completely destroyed. And I've never seen it all at once do that before. And that was weeks ago. I still remember it because I'm like, That's never happened before.
Yeah.
Or like I've seen chunks of the building from an explosion go flying intact. I'm like, where the fuck's that going? That's rare. So yeah, the destruction is awesome, and in TDM that does add to, TDM can get repetitive. You're just running around shooting each other, especially in fucking COD. And I'm so spoiled by this game now that when I play other games, I'm like, every match just feels the fucking same in this game. But in the finals, that destruction changes paths, changes how the maps are navigated. And TDM, it allows for a more dynamic experience every single match, even if you've played the fucking map before. So I love the destruction. There's another thing I'll talk about is the destruction is fantastic. It's better than anything Battlefield has done. These are ex-DICE devs, so they obviously have experience with this, and this is the evolution that Battlefield should have done 2 Battlefields ago. Battlefield 5 had destruction, but I don't think it's like that great. And even though it was fine, and then Battlefield 2042 was a joke when it came to destruction. The finals is where destruction's at right now. If you missed that from Battlefield, the finals is for you in that regard. The new Battlefield, I'm really curious to see what they do with destruction. I've seen some of the videos and it looks great in detail, but it also, like, they shoot a wall and the whole thing fucking collapsed. And I was like, it looked good, but it doesn't have that, like, structural integrity is failing because enough damage has happened in different places where you see the building starting to shake and like half of it collapses, like in the finals. There's no like weight to what we saw in the new Battlefield, but that's all alpha shit, so I'll wait. But yeah, destruction is one of the most important things I think in the finals identity. People often say that the game modes is what makes the finals the finals. I agree that quick cache is a huge factor of what makes the finals, but I think the other 2 big factors is the destruction, which is a huge factor, but also the dynamic in the second play-by-plays that allow you to be really smart in your strategies and practice to the point where you're pulling off really creative plays that other games can't allow, because they don't have the tools and the dynamic environments to do it. That is the most important the thing that the finals offers, is that dynamic element of just like everything's changing constantly and you have all these tools to affect your environment, and does it better than, it doesn't have competitions really in that regard. So yeah, destruction's awesome. The dynamic nature of the game's awesome. The classes are awesome. I main heavy. I fucking love heavy. I play most of the time heavy. I do enjoy medium. I will play it sometimes in power shift because sometimes I feel like people aren't supporting enough. They're not healing. They're not defibbing enough. So I'll do that. And then I will play light sometimes, and it's fun. My problem with light, and this is not all lights, but light attracts people who want to kill things. And all the classes can kill things, obviously. I kill plenty of things with all the classes. But the way light is set up, it incentivizes you to just try to kill shit. And so people who want to do that typically lean towards light, and they're not typically team players. When you get a light on your team that is a team player, they're great. I'm like, oh fuck, we actually got like a good light with us. Like, that's awesome. And when they're good, they're fucking good. But a lot of the people who are attracted to light are not worried about team play, and that drives me nuts. So when I play light, I try to be a team player, but I know I can be so much more effective with the team play if I play either medium or heavy. There's obviously much stuff with light you can do for the team, but I would like to see Embark maybe try to make some tools that make light a more team-oriented player, even though I get that they need to be orbiting their team and getting kills. That's kind of their thing, is being the assassin, basically. But it does allow for people who aren't being an assassin for their team to just be out there getting killed by teams because they're so hungry for fucking kills, and it happens too often. So yeah, but I like playing light. I think it's a fun class. I think there's a lot of potential there for the future of it being, I guess maybe a more useful class. Fun fact for anybody who doesn't play the game, there was a stun gun in the game that I've never cared about. I've never really had a strong opinion on it, but a lot of people fucking hate the stun gun because basically what happens with a light is they shoot you, you're stuck, you can't move, and then they just mow you down. A lot of people, whether they think it's OP or not, think it's not fun. to fight against. Even lights don't like fighting against lights with stun guns, which I think is an interesting thing. They've removed the stun gun to rework it, which I think is the right move. So it's not in the game anymore, but they're reworking it. Somebody said on Reddit, I forgot who it was, that it would be cool if it worked like a real stun gun where you actually have to hold the trigger to shock somebody. And so the light at that point would have to depend on his team to kill people with the stun gun, which I think would make for a good almost support item. To see a heavy running in with a fucking hammer and you hit him with a stun gun and you have to sit there and hold it while your team gets him. There'd be an element to it that you couldn't just run around trying to solo everybody with a stun gun. So we'll see what they do with it.
Yeah.
I also think it'd be cool if they either made it so you either get hit with a stun gun and slow down to a stop, or you stop and then speed up again, just to give you kind of a brief thing and not just standing there getting fucking unloaded on. But we'll see what they do. Yeah, guns are all great. I love all the guns. I'm a fan of most of them. I do use flamethrower a lot. I know a lot of people are not a huge fan of the flamethrower. I think it's great because there's a lot of cool things you can do tactically with it. Like I'll throw like goo grenades and then preemptively light them on fire when people go to climb over them to do damage before they even try to fight me. You can shoot around corners with it. It's a great suppressive weapon. It's a great defensive weapon. It's a lot of fun, especially the burn damage that you get. Definitely allows for some fun plays you can do with it. But yeah, other than that, I typically use LMGs. I like the M60 over the Lewis gun. I do like the... oh, God. Why can't I fucking remember the name of them? That's going to drive me fucking crazy. Oh, my God. The fucking Deagles.
Yeah, I just dual-wield pistols. I don't know their name.
I should know their name, though. I can't fucking remember it. Anyway, those are a lot of fun, especially if you treat them kind of like a carbine, which is weird because they have like really good accuracy for medium and long range. And then
I don't have them unlocked yet.
I hip fire them at close range. And then, yeah, I use RPG still, even though it doesn't do a lot of damage. I love the utility of it. I like being able to use it for destruction. I like using it preemptively to soften people up. I like, if I'm going to fight another dude with a flamethrower, to hit them with the rocket before I fight them, because then they have taken damage and then I win. And a lot of people don't do that, which is really fucking weird to me, because it's not like a deep strategy, but it works a lot. And then I use Charge and Slam, because you can kill people, damage people. You can run through a wall. When I'm taking fire, especially from like a sniper or something like that, I'll just run through a building and just get out of the way so I'm not getting shot anymore. Use it to catch up on people. Use it to try and survive heavies with hammers, because they're motherfuckers. And yeah, what else? I got barricades because they're fucking great. Goo grenades, and I think that's everything. So that's my build with heavy. So yeah, I love heavy. I play heavy all the time. But I like the other classes as well. And what else? I think that's about it. I fucking love the finals. Like I said, I play like every day. I did take a break like in the last month because I was having some health issues. But I do play daily. I am pretty much done with everything in this season. Season 5 has been a rocky season, but I think it's ending well. I think we are in a place where the balance is good. I don't have a whole lot of complaints right now, which is kind of great when it comes to balance. But it started out strong, kind of got weird there for a little bit, and now it's gotten better. I'm excited for Season 6. There was a video, I don't know if you saw it or not. I doubt you would. They released it on Steam. It's just a trailer for the game, but people watched it, and there's, in a clip, a fucking chain gun, a Gatling gun.
Okay.
He's just unloading, and then in another scene, a guy has, it almost looks like it's either a SMG or some kind of assault rifle, but it has a silencer on the end, and someone's shooting that, and it's in this map that's like dark and cyberpunk looking.
Oh, interesting.
And everybody's like, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
is this like a leak? And then today on X and a bunch of places, they released a promotional video. They haven't said shit about what this is either, but it's a promotional video of like a TV ad for a company that sells Gatling guns. It's like it's Alpha. Alta Alpha, some I forgot what the fuck it's called. It's a company we never heard before, a sponsor, but they make the chain gun,
Okay.
and or Gatling gun.
I'm assuming that's heavy.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
It looks like it. Everybody in the Reddit's just been like talking about how they're just gonna fucking murder the shell lights with it, and I just keep saying in all caps like, "Lights, you've been fucking warned." Like when this thing shows up, you guys are done.
Just turning into the Doom guy.
Yeah. And everybody's comparing it to like Team Fortress 2 and Titanfall 2 and what other game? Just heavy dudes with fucking machine guns or Gatling guns.
That's more my play style too.
Yeah.
So.
It looks fucking sick though, but I am really curious about the rifle. A silenced gun is kind of interesting because I don't know if it's actually going to have any practical use or if it's just an aesthetic. But really excited about that. But yeah, they haven't said shit about it. They just released that footage, which I think is smart because they always wait till like the last week to start showing shit off for the game for the next season. And right now they're like just kind of leaking stuff out, and I'm like, that's what you should be building fucking hype for a little bit longer than just like one trailer, then let the streamers play it.
Yeah, I do think drip marketing would probably be a little better for building up hype. But,
Well, we're all talking about it. Like, what the fuck is that?
yeah, they could start it a little earlier and just do a little bit of time. I know, it's a weird example, but like a lot of the Hoyo games, they start 2 patches ahead of time. You kind of get like a little teases, right? And so like you're talking about the next 2 updates basically as before they're even coming out. So
Yeah, I think for at least the last month of the season, they should start like. You don't gotta tell us details. Just do exactly what the fuck they just did.
Yeah.
And just release some shit without saying anything. We all saw it and we're like, what is that? Now we're all
Yeah.
speculating. We're all talking about it.
Well, it
and
could've
now I'm
been-
telling you about it.
could have been as simple too as just like whatever this new company is. I already forgot, but they could just like their logo, and that would be like a day where they release that, and then
Yeah.
you'd have people going, well, why are they showing that and talking about that and stuff? So
Yeah.
and speculating.
Yeah, they even released in that infomercial. There's like a phone number, and I don't know if this is true or not. But people were saying it was like a Swedish phone number because the company's out of Sweden, and people were saying like it costs money or something like that to call that because of international shit. I don't know if that's true or not, but people were just calling it and like releasing on Reddit like what happens when you call it, and it's basically just like an infomercial saying like your number 800 and blah 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 in line to buy the Gatling gun, like and it's just give you information on how to use it and stuff like that. So what they're doing with the drip feed of information on this season's the best I think they've done. They haven't even shown us a trailer yet, really, outside of that small little blip. So I would like to see more of that because it's pretty cool. Yeah, season 5's been good. I thought season 4 was great. Season 3, I really like Kyoto, but a lot of people fucking hate it. But I also like Vegas a lot, and people fucking hate Vegas. But yeah, a lot of cool things in season 3, but the way it was supported was terrible. Season 2 was a lot of fun. Season 1 was a lot of fun. So, yeah, 5's been good. I'm happy with 5. Could have been better, but it wasn't as bad as season 3. I think season 3 they really fucking dropped the ball with it. And season 4 wasn't exciting, but like they did a really good job with like prioritizing the game, balancing things, just trying to get people to feel competitive again. So, yeah. Yeah, all in all, I fucking love the finals. I play all the time. I recommend it to people all the fucking time. And I'm very excited for season 6, and I enjoyed playing it this month. And that's my impressions. Let's jump into recommendations, unless you have anything else to add. You got anything?
No.
No recommendations?
Oh, I thought you were still asking if I had anything else. I mean, the obvious ones, obviously, first-person shooters, specifically competitive ones. If you like objective-based modes, that's kind of the bread and butter of the game, even though they are now flirting with TDM. And if it sticks around, I might find myself popping on a little more often then. As much as I do like objective modes, they are generally very competitive feeling. And
Oh, yeah, they're sweaty. It's a sweaty game.
And that's not... I usually want to come home, play a game, and relax, and I don't find competitive to be relaxing. So
That has been where I've been hanging out, doing my dailies lately after work. Like if I have like an hour or two to play, I'll just do TDM.
Yeah. Well, even back when I played like Halo 3, I would just play big team battle all the time. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see. If you like cosmetics, the game has a bunch of them.
I feel like spending money on a game. This game has things to spend money on.
I mean, I think you spend money on probably 90% of games you play, but yeah, I know.
Yeah, the incentive's there though for me.
I mean, it is kind of what it is though. So I don't know if I have much more to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree. If you like competitive shooters and you haven't given this game a chance, I think you should. I advocate for the game all the time. I want it to do well. I want it to grow. So, shameless plug for the finals. Check it out. Just try it out. It's free to play. But more specifically, if you do like more objective-based, strategic gameplay in your shooters, definitely check this out. If you love destruction in games, I think it has the best destruction out there. So if that's interesting to you at all, it's worth playing. If you want a shooter that feels, it's not realistic, but the TTK a lot of times feels closer to realistic than like Halo, but it also is like kind of crazy and zany too, with all the gadgets and stuff that people are using without being cartoony and Fortnite-like. So if you want something that just kind of feels different than other shooters on the market right now, I would recommend it to you. If you want something that just feels fucking fresh compared to COD and Fortnite, all that stuff, it's definitely worth checking out. And then a loose recommendation, if you're a fan of the Battlefields of old and you're not happy with the direction it's gone, this game's not Battlefield, but it has some evolutionary DNA from Battlefield. The guns sometimes kind of feel like Battlefield, like the AKM and stuff like that. It doesn't have realistic damage, but like the way the recoil works and just like the overall feel of it, the way movement works. If you liked Mirror's Edge, also DICE and Embark people from Embark worked on that. The movement feels really smooth when it comes to traversal. And the destruction will remind you of where Battlefield should be in terms of destruction. So if there is an element of you that's missing stuff from older Battlefields, you should check this out, because this is where those ideas went with Embark. So, yeah. Check it out.
Yeah.
Anything else? Let's jump into grades. I'll grade it first. I really badly want to give this game an A+. On a personal level, I would give it an A+, but I'm going with an A, the strongest A I could give it, just because with everything that I fucking love about this game, I do think they could be a little cooler with the way they distribute cosmetics. I spend money on it, so it's whatever, but I know everybody can't fucking do that. And so it has gotten better. I do think there's plenty of opportunities to get cosmetics, but it'd be cool if every once in a while, you know, they just gave out some more stuff to people who are playing for free. So yeah, and then also sometimes their decisions on nerfing and balancing, I get it. They're really transparent with why they do things. I actually fucking love that. They will tell you their thought process on why they did this nerf or this buff or whatever, but their messaging sometimes isn't great either, and it divides the community, specifically when they nerfed Charge and Slam, which I still use it, I still love it, and I think that was a very unnecessary nerf, but I'm not whining about it. But in their notes, they said it wasn't fun for lights, and lights are a very contentious topic in the community, because people either love them or they hate them. I get annoyed with them, but I don't hate them. But for them to message that they nerfed something that people love because lights were complaining, when people feel like lights get buffed all the time and heavies get nerfed all the time, and mediums, it kind of felt like getting spit in the face to a lot of people. And so I feel like they could have been a little better about that messaging. And then server issues. I think that's the game's biggest weakness, is the servers have issues. People run into lag, latency, packet loss, all sorts of shit, more often than they should. I know this isn't a big AAA game made by, you know, some giant company, But and they are set. They said in an AMA they are like prioritizing. They think they have it figured out. They're working on it, so they are working on it. But it really is fucking deflating when you're just having a great time and they start running into random lag that is not your internet. That really fucking sucks. It used to be really bad for me, but then I switched from our Wi-Fi to hardline and pretty much fixed it. So that might have been on our end when it came to our Wi-Fi. But I've ran into issues regardless of that as well, and it sucks. And a lot of people complain about it. So that's why, long story short, I'm not giving it the A+ because there's room for improvement on a technical side. But outside of that, I mean, my love for the game is an A+. But I have to be objective, and so yeah, it's an A. I fucking love the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good game for what it is. I think if I were to have any major critiques on a personal level, is that the game modes are not necessarily ones that call to me for the most part. I do like TDM. I am a fan of in shooters in general. I think King of the Hill is a fun mode. This game kinda, I mean, it is kinda that, but it is also not that. So, I'm not saying it needs that, but that is like something I do enjoy in a lot of shooters. So, I don't like the, what's it called again, where you have to ride the thing.
Power Shift.
Power Shift's not really a mode I enjoy. I'll play it because it's a 5-player mode. But
one thing I want to say though, just as I'm confessing my love for this game, I think Power Shift is so smart though because it's just like an escort mission, like in fucking Overwatch, or a match. But the game is about like destruction, such a huge part of the finals, and that the platform actually drives through buildings, so they're just getting destroyed in dynamic ways over time. Even though it is a mode taken from Overwatch, basically, it has that like the final stamp of like this is our version of that. So
yeah,
really
I don't have any complaints about
Yeah.
it. I'm just not a fan of the mode.
Yeah, I just didn't mention
Oh, yeah,
my
yeah.
thoughts on it earlier, but now that you're mentioning it, I thought about it. But yeah, that's fair.
And then the God, what's it called again? Quick Cash, or whatever it's called. It's fun, but I get burnt out really quick on it, and I think a large part of that is because of the nature of it being 2v2v2. Is it can get
3v3v3.
or that's
Yeah.
3 teams is
3 teams of 3,
yeah. It is
unless you're playing World Tour.
a little frustrating at times.
You would hate World Tour then, because that's 4 teams
Yeah,
and two
objectives.
two
right?
cash outs.
And so yeah, I can only do so much of it before I get kind of burnt out, especially because you could be doing great and then last minute, and I'm sure for you that's a rush. For me, it's just frustrating to like all of a sudden like lose the point last second.
Oh, I fucking love it, dude.
So-
Because sometimes you're the one taking that point last second. And in this footage you guys are watching, which is just a bunch of random clips, there's a clip of me and Cody playing with a random, and it was like the last like second, so we just ran in, and I think one of the teams was taking it, and they hadn't taken it before, so they were saying like, "Oh, just let them take it," which is a smart strategy. If one team, if Orange has already taken it once and they take it a second time, they're going to win. So you want Pink or whoever you're fighting to take it, or you take it. You just don't want Orange to get it. And so this person was saying, just let them take it. But I was like, we can fucking take this though. And so I ran in. I think I had killed a person because they were behind some foam I lit on fire. But then I was like, fuck, now I can't touch the cash out because it's on fire. I was like, fuck it. So I started taking it, and instantly the person who told us don't do it, don't take it, they like ran over and started healing me to keep me alive. And then Cody threw a dome shield on me. A guy got in my face from my footage. He was just in my face unloading. I was just sitting there just taking it, going like, and then Cody ran up and shot him. We ended up taking the whole thing and winning just in that last millisecond.
Right.
And those kind of things is like, yeah, it's a rush for me.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
Yeah, it just feels like stress to me. So
That's kind of stress.
and I've been on that side. I mean, even when
Yeah.
we played, like you went to take a point that we needed to win. You got killed, and I snuck up right after you died, and I ended up taking it. And we won.
Yep.
And I get it, but like I didn't really feel very good because I was just like,
Yeah,
time,
and
so.
I love it so much.
and I think that's a huge contributor to me not enjoying competitive a lot of times is that it just feels stressful to me. So, but that being said, I do think the game is a good game.
That's real quick though. Hold the thought. That's an important thing to for you to say though, because like people discuss all the time, like how people like view it in the sense of like everybody like a lot of people just kind of assume everybody has the same mentality when they play this game, and it's like for someone like you, like that mode is stressful because it's just like boom, 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 things are happening, and you are 1/3 of the whole team. So you, no matter what you do, will affect the rest of us.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you're playing TDM, or like if you play Battlefield and you're in a team of like fucking 30-something people or 60 people, you're only one small cog of the whole thing, and you can be effective and you can be helpful, but there's less stress on you as an individual.
Yeah.
Just like when we play TDM, there's 5 of you. And if you're getting kills, cool. Get 5 kills, 6 kills, 10 kills, 15, whatever. But in Quick Cash, if you're not helping, you're fucking your team. If you're not good, you're fucking your team. And I would still say if you feel like you're not great at the game, you should still play and get better. It's fine. Some people get pissed about shit. I don't. But for that player experience, that can be kind of like a thing that can push you away of going like, it's too stressful, man. Like, that's why I think TDM is a good idea. Is it's a less stressful environment for people to play the game.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were doing your review.
Yeah. Well, and I was just kind of to wrap it up. My gripes aside, those are not faults of the game, so I'm not putting those against it. But it does make it hard for me to obviously like want to give it an A-, an A, for example. So I'm going to give it a B+. I do think it is a solid game, and if I was going to play a competitive shooter, it would likely be it. A large part of that is obviously because I know I could just be like, hey, do you want to play this? And you would hop on. So,
anytime, yeah.
Yeah. So I know I would have people to play with if I played it. So, which is another reason you should make games accessible.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, it's a good game. Yeah, just not my genre for the most part, though. So
yeah. But at least you have something if you want to play something that.
Sure, I don't hate it or anything. I just it'll wear me out quickly.
Yeah.
So I
fair.
can't do like long sits a lot of the time unless like I've had a couple times we've played before where I was able to play all day, no problem. But even like the last time we played, I could feel it wearing on me by the time we quit. So.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so B+, A, almost A+. Anything else? All right, well, let us know in the comments. What do you guys think about the finals? Have you played the finals? If you haven't played the finals, why haven't you played the finals? From somebody who loves the game, I legit would like to hear why aren't you playing it? I think it'd be good feedback, too, for people who do play the finals, finding out why aren't people playing this, because I do think the game is very underrated. And if you do play the finals or have played the finals, what do you think about it? If you're a finals player, tell me everything. What do you main? What weapons do you use? What guns do you like? What guns do you think are OP or shit, or people that use them suck? Whatever. What's your kit? Favorite maps? What do you think about season 5? Do you think it was good? What's your favorite season? Yeah, tell me everything you're thinking about in the comments below when it comes to the finals. Are you excited for season 6 like me? Let me know. But that's going to do it for this episode of Game of the Month. As always, thank you for watching, guys. Thank you, Shay, for joining me for this conversation. It was a long one, but of course, I had a lot to say about it, and you had a lot to say on it too. And thank you guys for joining us as well for the whole conversation. But until next episode, which will be Plus Club, coming up tomorrow, have a good one, guys, and take it easy.